A video went viral, and India was shocked. A guru dressed in white, who introduced himself as a celibate saint, was seen in a hotel room with an actress. The cameras had recorded everything. It was undeniable. But the man's response was unbelievable. He said, "I am impotent. I experienced a genetic mutation when I was 12. Anatomically, I am neither male nor female," and people continued to believe him. The media talked about the scandal for days, but Nithyananda's followers flooded the streets, shouting that the video was fake. Thousands gathered in front of his ashram, defending him and blaming the media. For them, Nithyananda was not just a guru, but almost a god. The story did not end with this scandal. Years later, he was accused of rape and child abduction. He fled the country and later announced to the world that he had founded his own nation. He called it Kailaasa. He claimed it had a passport, a flag, a constitution, and even a national anthem. The most shocking part is that he managed to deceive major institutions. The United Nations interacted with his representatives. The mayor of Newark in the United States signed an agreement with him. The government of Paraguay attempted to establish diplomatic relations. Even Amazonian tribes agreed to give him thousands of hectares of land, all for a country that does not exist. The story sounds unreal, but every part of it is true. This is the story of Nithyananda, the fake guru who created his own country. He was born in the town of Tiruvannamalai in Tamil Nadu. His birth name was Arunachalam Rajasekaran. He came from an ordinary family. His father was Arunachalam, his mother Lokanayaki. According to Nithyananda's own account, when he was 10 years old, he had his first divine experience while meditating on the Arunachala hill. At 17, after the death of his guru, he left home. But the real story was probably far more ordinary. There isn't much reliable information about his childhood, because Nithyananda loved to turn his own past into a mythological tale. In his version, he was noticed by a yogi at the age of 3, became enlightened at 12, and achieved full wisdom by 22. But most likely, the truth is this. He was a normal boy who learned, over time, how to become a guru. He earned a degree in mechanical engineering but never worked in a regular job. Because he had discovered something else, people were looking for miracles, and he realized he could sell them. When he opened his first ashram in Tamil Nadu, he was only 22 years old. He named himself Nithyananda, which means eternal bliss, and he had found a perfect way to attract people. Unlike other gurus who sat quietly in meditation, he performed on stage. He spoke with exaggerated gestures, laughed, shouted, and danced. It was less about spirituality and more like a show, and people loved it. He used to say, "Every thought is independent, illogical, and disconnected." Most of his sentences didn't make sense, but he said them with such confidence that people assumed they carried deep meaning. His stage presence was flawless, dramatic pauses, intense eye contact, deliberate movements. He began teaching yoga and meditation, but more importantly, he spoke fluent English. That gave him an international audience. Near Bangalore, in a place called Bidadi, he built a massive ashram called Nithyananda Dhyanapitam. It wasn't just a spiritual center, it was a whole complex. Thousands of people lived there, worked there, and worshipped him. He opened ashrams in the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. He had followers everywhere. Wealthy donors supported him, and celebrities took photos with him. In Los Angeles, New York, and London, new meditation centers appeared. Nithyananda was no longer just a local Indian guru, he was becoming a global figure, an important representative of the Hindu diaspora. And of course, he claimed to perform miracles. He said he could cure cancer. He said he once delayed the sunrise by 40 minutes. He even said he could teach cows to speak Tamil and Sanskrit. Once, he declared that Einstein's formula E equals mc squared was wrong, and that he knew the correct version. Did people believe him? Some did, because they wanted to believe. But behind the scenes, life inside the ashrams was very different. When the Sun TV channel released the video, India was shaken. Nithyananda was seen in a hotel room with the Tamil actress Ranjitha. The camera had recorded everything. Every position, every movement, Every detail was clear. Nithyananda immediately denied it. He said, "The video is fake. It has been photoshopped, but the forensic laboratory examined it. The result was undeniable. The video was real. It was Nithyananda, and it was Ranjitha." Then Nithyananda gave an even more absurd explanation. He said, "I am impotent. I experienced a genetic mutation at the age of 12. I am neither male nor female." The court ordered a medical test. The result showed that he was a perfectly healthy man. There was no impotence, no mutation. But who had recorded the video? A woman named Aarti Rao came forward. She was also one of Nithyananda's followers, living in the United States. She said, "I filmed the video. I had permission to install an air purifier in his room, but it had a hidden camera inside." Aarti Rao also made a shocking allegation. "Nithyananda raped me repeatedly for 5 years, and that was only the beginning." More women came forward, telling similar stories. They had come to the ashram seeking spiritual enlightenment, but Nithyananda had abused them under the name of private sessions. The women said, "He told us it was part of spirituality, that it was necessary to reach God." They were silenced with fear, manipulation, and threats. There were also allegations of child abuse. It was said that children in the ashram were starved, beaten, and forced to work. Some were even made to fight each other. Police eventually found Nithyananda in Himachal Pradesh and arrested him. He spent more than 50 days in jail. But this was not just any guru in India. He had millions of followers, and they continued to defend him. They shouted, "The guru is innocent. This is a conspiracy against Hinduism." Nithyananda was released on bail and went back to his activities. When a 24-year-old woman died inside the ashram, her family claimed Nithyananda killed her, but nothing happened. Because Nithyananda had understood something. If you present yourself as a defender of the Hindu faith, people will keep believing you. And he used that tactic to its full extent. Every criticism was labeled as anti-Hindu propaganda. Every accusation was dismissed as a conspiracy. Court hearings were approaching, and Nithyananda knew that this time escaping would be difficult. The accusations of rape and child abduction were piling up. Evidence was growing stronger. A Canadian follower named Sarah Landry helped him. She applied for political asylum in Canada on his behalf, but the plan was much bigger than that. A family from Tamil Nadu claimed that their children had been kidnapped from Nithyananda's ashram. The Gujarat High Court issued an order demanding that the children be returned. 2 ashram administrators were arrested, and the children were rescued. But Nithyananda had already disappeared. He later released a video declaring, "I am Lord Shiva. No court can touch me. I am ready to reveal the truth. I am Param Shiv." Then he made an announcement that shocked everyone. "I am creating my own nation. Its name is Kailaasa." At first, people thought it was a joke, but Nithyananda was serious. A website for Kailaasa went online, and it had everything: a flag, a constitution, a passport, a national anthem, even its own currency. He called it the Kailashian dollar and claimed that each one was equal to a tola of gold, about 11.7 grams. He pretended that Kailaasa had its own reserve bank, claiming it was inspired by the Vatican Bank. On the website, it said, "Kailaasa is the new home for persecuted Hindus. It is the nation of 100 million Adi Shaivites and 2 billion Hindus." Kailaasa even had its own flag, featuring Nithyananda himself, Nandi, the sacred bull of Lord Shiva, and other Hindu symbols. There was a national anthem, and he claimed to have his own university, TV channel, and newspaper, the Nithyananda Times. But there was one problem: land. Kailaasa had a flag, a constitution, and a passport, but no territory. Newspapers began to report that Nithyananda had purchased an island near Ecuador. The Ecuadorian government immediately denied it, saying, "This is false. Nithyananda is not in our country, and we have not granted him asylum." Even the Ecuadorian embassy released an official statement. All reports claiming that Nithyananda is in Ecuador are false. So where was Nithyananda? According to India's Ministry of External Affairs, he was most likely in the United States. He had an office in California and a major center in San Jose. His Indian passport had been cancelled, and his application for a new one was rejected. But Nithyananda had already moved his presence into the virtual world. He appeared in live broadcasts, giving sermons and teachings, yet no one knew where he physically was. And most importantly, his followers were still sending him money. He founded 13 non-profit organizations, 10 of them in the United States alone. Donations to these NGOs were completely legal, and that money funded the so-called activities of Kailaasa. The former CEO of an Indian-origin IT company donated millions to him, saying, "Nithyananda is not a criminal. He is a defender of Hinduism. Anti-Hindu forces are targeting him." Convenient, isn't it? Just say, "I'm protecting Hinduism," and people start giving you money. Kailaasa's digital presence was strong, but Nithyananda wanted more. He wanted international recognition. And then he did something unbelievable. He managed to deceive the United Nations. In February 2023, during a UN meeting in Geneva, a woman appeared. Her name was Vijayapriya Nithyananda. She introduced herself as the permanent ambassador of Kailaasa to the United Nations. She said, "Kailaasa is the first sovereign nation for Hindus. India is persecuting us." Everyone was stunned. UN officials later explained, this was an open event. Anyone could attend, but it was too late. Photos had been taken, videos had spread, and soon Kailaasa's website proudly declared, "The United Nations has recognized us." The speech made headlines around the world. Some people laughed, others were furious. They asked, how could the UN make such a mistake? But for Kailaasa, it was a massive propaganda victory. They could now claim to be a nation that spoke at the United Nations. But that was only the beginning. At the UK House of Lords, a Diwali celebration was held. The invitation featured a full-page advertisement for Kailaasa, complete with photos of Nithyananda. After the event, the Kailaasa UK account posted on Twitter, boasting about celebrating Diwali with the British Parliament and sharing photos with important figures. Everything was designed to make Kailaasa appear legitimate. Then, in Newark, New Jersey, the mayor signed a sister city agreement with Kailaasa. There was a ceremony, photos were taken, documents were signed. How did this happen? Nithyananda's followers told local officials that Kailaasa is a Hindu island nation near Ecuador. The Newark officials didn't even check Google. Mayor Ras Baraka attended the event, smiling and shaking hands. When the truth came out, the agreement was cancelled. The Newark City Council called it an unfortunate incident. One council member described it as an oversight. Newark residents were embarrassed. Did our officials not even do a simple Google search? But on Kailaasa's website, the message remained, "America has recognized us." Something similar happened in Paraguay. An official from the Paraguayan government signed an agreement with Kailaasa that stated, Paraguay will help Kailaasa join the United Nations, and that Kailaasa would assist Paraguay with irrigation and other projects. The official was later fired, but the photos were already online, used as propaganda to make Kailaasa look even more real. Every new agreement, every photo, made the fake nation seem more legitimate. By now, Kailaasa's digital influence was powerful. They had spoken at the UN and signed deals with cities. But one thing was still missing: real land. In Bolivia, deep within the Amazon rainforest, lived indigenous tribes, poor and humble people, and Kailaasa's representatives targeted them. In September 2024, 3 Kailaasa members arrived in Bolivia. They carried Irish passports and entered as tourists, but their real mission was very different: to meet local tribal leaders and discuss business. Their first step was to build trust. They said, "We will help you fight forest fires." The tribes desperately needed assistance, so the offer sounded generous. Then came the real proposal. "Let us lease your land. We will pay you $200,000 per year." Tribal leader Pedro Guasico listened. $200,000 was a huge amount for their community. They planned to sign a 25-year lease. But the contract was written in English, and the tribal leaders didn't speak English. They signed it without reading because the Kailaasa representatives told them, "Don't worry, everything is clear." In reality, the contract stated something entirely different. The lease was not for 25 years, but for 1,000 years, renewable indefinitely. Kailaasa would have full sovereignty and autonomy over the territory. The airspace, underground resources, and all natural assets would belong to Kailaasa. Even more shocking, the agreement said that if Kailaasa is attacked, the Bolivian tribes will defend it and support its membership in the United Nations. Absurd, isn't it? Indigenous tribes who had never even heard of this nation were supposed to defend it. By November 2024, Kailaasa members had signed similar agreements with 3 other indigenous groups, the Baure, Cayubaba, and Esa Edja communities. In total, 480,000 hectares of land, 3 times the size of New Delhi. Bolivian journalists uncovered the agreements. The newspaper El Deba conducted an investigation and revealed shocking details. Kailaasa was attempting to colonize part of Bolivia. The Bolivian government acted quickly. The agreements were declared invalid. An investigation was launched for land trafficking and organized crime. 20 people connected to Kailaasa were arrested and deported. But think about it. They almost succeeded. A fake country nearly managed to claim real territory. If journalists hadn't exposed the plan, Kailaasa would have owned 480,000 hectares of land in the Amazon. Today, Nithyananda is still a fugitive. No one knows where he is. But videos continue to appear regularly on his YouTube channel. He even holds live broadcasts. He sits on a throne, presents himself like a god, and delivers sermons from an undisclosed location. Sometimes he makes bizarre claims. In one video he said, "The earth is hollow. There are alien civilizations living inside it. I am also an alien. I came from Kailaasa and lived within the earth for a long time." In another video he declared, "I will empower 3 billion people. I will give humans not 2 eyes, but 3. He even claimed, "I am building a cosmic airport for alien landings." Absurd. Yes. But he still has viewers and he still has believers. Kailaasa's digital embassy exists in your spam folder. Its foreign ministry is run through Photoshop. And Nithyananda's list of titles is longer than the population of his imaginary nation: Supreme Pontiff, Divine Healer, Incarnation of Wisdom. You can still apply for e-citizenship on the website. It's free, just a few clicks, and surprisingly, it's claimed that more than 12 million people have already applied. Is it true? Who knows? But the numbers are impressive. The most astonishing part, however, is this: people still believe. Millions of followers still say, Nithyananda is innocent. There's a conspiracy against him. They still send donations, and they still defend him. So what does this story teach us? First, religion can be the most powerful tool of manipulation. When you say, "I am defending Hinduism," people may believe you blindly. Second, in the digital age, the line between real and fake has become blurred. A well-designed website, a professional logo, and a few convincing photos, and people will believe almost anything. The Kailaasa website looked so professional that many truly thought it was a real country. Third, even authorities must be cautious. The mayor of Newark, the government of Paraguay, even the United Nations, all were deceived. Not even a simple Google search was done. And finally, people like Nithyananda are still out there, in unknown places, making new plans. Who will be next? Where will the next country be founded? We don't know. But history shows us one thing: there's always a next one.